Staying on top of breaking news right now at 5, we've got evacuations underway with a new wildfire burning in northwestern Arizona. It's west of Prescott in Bagdad, Arizona. So anyone living north of Main Street has to evacuate. The Spur Fire is spreading fast. We do have our chopper over the scene, and we've seen houses are already on fire. This is burned and spread to 200 acres. It's extremely active. Again, we've seen multiple homes on fire, and it's even threatening the mining infrastructure there in town. They did set up an emergency shelter in the high school gym.
Royal's here with us early with a check of the weather conditions up there right now and whether that's having any impact, Royal.
Luckily, not a lot of wind, but there's still enough that it's moving this fire. Let's situate you on where the fire is, the Spur Fire in Bagdad. Bagdad's about 60 miles due west of Prescott in western portions of Yavapai County. It's a mining town. And here's the town itself. The fire began right here. In fact, a higher resolution view shows the fire began right near the Bagdad Little League field. This is Lindell, and this is the Main Street area. And everybody north of here has been evacuated, but where we're seeing some of those aerials, and we'll continue to show them when we have them available, these are some of the homes that are burning and are threatened right now. The fire has moved along this ridgeline up to the north and has already involved a bunch of homes in that area. Now, this is the earliest shot we have of the fire, and at the time, this shows two things. There's the Little League field, so proximity to the Little League field on this fire start, and there's now 3 or 4 fronts on this fire. And then secondly, the fact that at the time there was not much wind because the smoke is vertical. A live shot of the chopper. Let's just look at what is happening up there. There are, you can't tell if these are single family dwellings or multiple family dwellings, but certainly many homes that have been engaged with this fire. And now, from when we've had the wider view, Jared and Nicole, on the helicopter views, we do see there's a little bit of wind out of the southwest, and it seems, if I were to make a guess, it would be in the 5 to 10 mile an hour range, pushing this fire to the north and to the east. So this is our worst fear being realized right now in Bagdad, where, as you can see, at least several homes have been involved and some destroyed by this Spur Fire in just a matter of hours.
Yeah, Royal, as you mentioned, it was difficult to tell if this is a series of homes there or a ranch, or it looked like there was even a barn on a property. We do know animals have been evacuated in addition to a number of families in the Bagdad area. And earlier, viewers were sending us photos. We appreciate that. It looked like a lot of white smoke, and then all of a sudden we saw some black smoke, and we thought that it might be homes and maybe vehicles burning at that point. And indeed, this confirms a number of homes on fire due to this wildfire burning right now in Bagdad, Arizona. We do want to bring in, if we can, John Eric Watson, who was evacuated a short while ago along with his wife and their dogs. John, if you could hear us sort of set the scene and the timeline for us, and where you are and what you're doing right now.
Okay. No, I was sleeping, getting ready for work. Night shifter, and my wife woke me up and said, "Hey, there's a fire." We went out and checked it out. That was around, I guess, about, I'm not even sure, around 2:30, 3 o'clock. And we were just checking things out. The Freeport-McMoran that owns the mine, they have an emergency notification system that kept us apprised of what was going on and told us when to evacuate. We evacuated and went to a friend's house in Hillside.
Okay, John, and I know you're there with your wife and dogs, and I do want to give an update. We're getting, we had told you previously that the evacuation center was at the high school. Now we're hearing that evacuees are being asked to check in at the Hassayampa Elementary School instead in Wickenburg. I know this fire is fast moving, and we're sharing some of the pictures that you sent into our newsroom. So how close was the fire to your home, and how close is it now?
To my home individually, I'm kind of lucky. I'm on the far side of where the fire is. I'm on the west side of town, and it was mostly on the east and moving north.
John, we're watching some of the photos that you sent in to us as our chopper tries to reestablish its signal. Could you tell, after you woke up and realized something was burning, could you tell if it had started like in town or if it started out in the rural desert brush? Is there any way to tell?
It looked like it started right on the edge of town, kind of an area between the Little League field and our propane farm. So I don't really know for sure or what would have started it, but it looked like it started over there. And the winds were not real heavy, but they kept moving from one side to the other and just spreading it both ways.
Our chopper keeps bumping in and out, and that's why we're not going back to those live images, which are really jarring to see. Do you know any of those homeowners? This is a small town of 1,700 people. Do you know any of the homeowners who lost their homes in this so far?
I'm sure I do. It's a very small, close-knit community. A lot of people have been there for multiple generations. I don't know whose house is gone. You couldn't see it when we left.
And just one more time, the update from State Forestry as we continue to look at these photos now is about 75 acres in size,
200.
extremely active. It's up to 200
It's up to
now.
200.
Thank you. And they say homes and mining infrastructure also impacted by the flames there.
And John, of course, we wish you well. Thank you for sharing those pictures. And again, real dramatic shots coming in from our news helicopter. But because of transmissions and live shots, we're having a difficulty staying with that live look. We'll turn around some of that video for you and get it to you a little later on in this newscast. On air, online, and on our AZ Family News app. We'll keep you posted on these evacuations in Bagdad, Arizona.